Hello everyone, I'm Silver. It is actually Monday, July 5th. A quick welcome back must go out to all returning viewers. If you tuned in last time and decided to come back, I really do appreciate it. I also wanted to say a quick hello to any new viewers. I am pretty social, as you can probably tell. You can find me most on Discord as SilverD, hashtag 8858, and on Instagram as @SilversKnitting. It has been a speedy month here in Casa de Silver, but I do have a fair bit to talk to you about. Now, before I do jump into the episode, I'd like everyone to say a quick, warm welcome to my sister-in-law, Mercury Zelda.
Hello, I'm Mercury, also known as Emily Ann Davies, and I run Mercurial Knits. I'm usually on Instagram as @MercuryZelda and Twitter as @Mercurial Knits. I'm also in Silver's Discord server, so you'll see me in there. Thanks for having me on again, Silver.
Oh, I'm glad that you wanted to come on for another episode. Let's be completely honest. Sometimes it's madness, right?
It's always fun, though.
It's a good madness, I'm sure. All right. Well, so everyone just make sure you grab your drink of choice, your crafting, and away we go. Today I'm actually drinking a cup of French vanilla, I believe, from Dunkin'. And obviously, I'm representing my Harry Potter fandom here.
Very nice. I've got some iced barley tea that I have topped up with milk, and it is absolutely delicious.
Ooh, that actually does sound good.
It kind of tastes like iced coffee, so I'm really happy.
Oh,
I can't
nice.
have coffee.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to take about one more sip and then we'll move on from there. You know me. At least 4 sips, right? In this episode, we do have FOs, HOs, or half objects. We do have works in progress, or WIPs. We also do have Silver's Unraveling Fast. We also have Radio GaGa, Silver's Book Pile, Silver in the Case of the Screen Time, My Favorite Things, The More You Know, and The End of the Road. Okay, like I said, one more sip and then we'll move on to the next segment. All right, let's talk finished objects, or what I have finished. I guess I'm going to go first because I think I have a fair amount. Be aware if you are counting stitches, I apologize. I'm going to be including all the yardage that I got for Stash Dash for all of them. So, as you probably saw, I'm flashing a bunch of my cubed blanket squares. I made quite a few.
I love those.
Like as in a bunch pile. Yeah. You can tell I finished something else, so I can.
I recognize those colors.
Exactly. I have so many. I think there was a total of 13 5-round squares since the last time that we talked. Well, my audience and I talked anyway. Probably a lot longer for the two of us. Let's see. I did use a miscellaneous yarn scraps. Don't have the tags on most of them. I used a size US G hook, which is a 4.0 clover hook that I pretty much used for a lot of my projects recently. Those actually got me a total of 340 yards for Stash Dash. I'm also continuing to attach the squares to one another. I'm now at the very start of row 6. I'm going to be including a video through the magic of editing here so that you can see it. It's kind of too big to do anything with. Oh yeah, so I also have been continuing to, for some reason I really wanted to pick up my squares blanket. So I've actually started over here today, or this week, and gotten a majority of the same row done. It's so large, it's easier to video it down the road, but I have gotten to the last 3 rows. What'll happen is that this is the join as you go method. So what I'm doing is I actually start off connecting them at one point, kind of like this at the beginning of this row rather, and then I go back and connect the stitches, and then they kind of go back to looking like that. So it's nice and sturdy. I love it. Okay, and the next thing that I did finish is what I called my hexie blanket. I actually finished all 3 of the remaining hexies. I haven't even tried to attach them yet. It's fine. It's not like I don't have time, right? These were all 5-round hexie squares, I guess hexie shapes. I didn't even block them. I just kind of am attaching them one stitch per. So it takes a bit. Yeah, again, those are a lot of random scraps that I've had for a while, and I use the same crochet hook because those three ended up getting me a total of 69 yards for Stash Dash. The next thing that I finished was what I called June DVD socks, just two of them. I like these heel on that. It's pretty amazing. I love the little like flips of color that happen between the stripes too. They're gorgeous. Sorry, I don't know where my sock blockers went. Oh, they're probably back there somewhere.
I don't know where mine are either.
Well, mine have been sitting on top of this QB thing that I made for all my stash a while. I just don't know where my size went to. Anyway, well, because I'm making socks for other people, so yeah. The next thing that I did, oh, actually, let me tell you, I didn't even give you any details on that. Let's try that one. The June DVD socks did get me a total of 235.62 yards. This was the, like I said, it was the OMG heel by Megan, aka Just Run Knit of the Stockinette Zombies. The colorway was actually a Desert Vista Dye Works fingering or Viso base in the Somebody colorway, or Someday colorway. That is one of her specials for finishing a whole year worth of socks. I think it was last year's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for that I did end up using a size US 1, which is actually a 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circulars. They're already somewhere else, so I can't even show them. Anyway, the next thing that I did finish was what I called DVD Love Lesson 3. This is a large blanket that I had been working on for close to 2.5 years, I believe. Finally finished that. It did end up getting me a total of 5,189.38 yards. Wow, that's a lot of numbers right there. I do have a video for that one already because it's already on my bed, and I actually showed it off in one of the stash vlogs, so it's just easier to plop that in here. I finished it. I'm excited. Look at that. From the progress keeper up. Yay. Okay. I'm going to show you as much of it as I can. It's gonna be interesting. Trying not to block the light and show you all the different colors. It's also hanging off the edge here, so camera is gonna be bugging with all the different colors. Sorry. Mind you, there's more. Hang on a sec. And like here's the bottom of the blanket too. It's pretty darn tall. As you can see at the beginning, I started off with a row of the tan, which is what I call the main color. Went through all the different colors of Desert Vista scraps that I had from all the socks. I think 2, 3 almost years full of socks. Scraps, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's going on our bed as soon as I can. Isn't that pretty? Alright, anyway, I'm going to stop admiring it and just show you a few of the colors. See, and it's hanging off on this side of the thing as well. That's why I said it'll be great on our bed. Okay, see you guys later. Once again, that was the Granny Stripes pattern by Attic24. Again, that was all a bunch of miscellaneous Desert Vista Dye Works scraps. I do have a list of the full colorways. I think I'm going to put that in the description box below, as well as in the show notes and on my personal blog. So I've been making a full list of every little yardage that I've been putting in that blanket because I was intending on it to be done during Stash Dash this year. For that one, I actually used a size USG hook, which is actually a 4.25. It's one of my inherited boy needles that I got from my grandmother or great grandmother. I can't remember which, but anyway, I probably should get rid of this thing because it's so old. I don't even know if you can tell, but the little like tip is worn off with paint.
Oh wow!
Which could be why I'm having such a hard time gripping anything with it, but. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next thing up to bat is what I call Curiouser and Curiouser shawl. This ended up getting me about 1,037 yards for Stash Dash. It's actually the Curiouser and Curiouser shawl by Laura Lenneman. I did use two different colorways of Sweet Georgia yarns in the Tough Love sock, in both the slate colorway, which I use for the bind off, and the lemon curd colorway. It's huge. I still have to block it. Obviously, the ends will keep curling, but yeah. I
love bright colors like that. I think that the bright yellow looks so good with dark gray like that.
And it's super squishy too.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna put that aside. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Yeah, that'll work. Once again, that was, like I said, I use a size US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter, which is part of the reason why I believe that the shawl was a little bit smaller than I anticipated, but that's fine. I didn't know where anything else was in here. Yeah, I think the pattern calls for a size 4, I think, which I don't have anywhere. I'm sure I do, but I'm looking around like it's right there. No, it's not right there. Let's see. The next thing was relatively new since the last time we talked. I think I was just about middle of the ribbing on my peach hat. Actually, I don't even know if I cast this on last month, so this was the Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. Can't see. I'm trying to get the color to pop right. Our lighting stinks. Anyway, this was from, like I said, this is the Lienemann Fiber Art Soliloquy in the Just Peachy colorway. It's some of the sweater's leftovers. I had sprung a hole in that sweater and I really liked it, but it was in a place that I was gonna rip. Like I mentioned, I think it was last podcast, I don't remember. Yeah.
I think so.
But yeah, I like I got a hat out of that, and I know I'm actually going to be giving that to somebody. They actually watched the podcast, so I won't say who. This was actually housed the whole time in my sheet bag by Silvershed USA, which I don't... Oh, hey, there it is.
Hey! Oh, that's so cute.
I love this bag. I got this, like, as a prize for something. I don't know. Anyway... for that hat, the pattern does call for a US 3, which is a 3 millimeter on 16-inch circulars. And then DPNs for the top of the hat. Alright, and, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, that actually did get me a total of 130 yards for Stash Dash. Let's see, oh, and the last thing, like I said, or started to say, was I actually finished the Pride shawl, which got me 593.45 yards. This is the,
wow.
Yeah. This is about 20 grams shy of 2 skeins of the fully spun postscript fingering base in the intersex Pride colorway. This is a progression shawl by Karen Reisinger. It's very simple. I love these little like eyelet rows.
It's really fun to knit.
And it still smells so good too. I haven't even given it a bath. This is just like the original wool smell. I've been doing that a lot. Let me just put that aside. I did use a size US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter on my Knitter's Pride 40 in circulars. Those happen to be right there in the drawer, so I can look. All right. With that in mind, I did get a total of 23,851.31 yards is what I'm up to, or which amounts to about 21,809.67 meters. I do have a...
Wow.
Yeah. I've been using a tracker to tell me exactly how much... how much yardage I've been putting in, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, did you end up, you don't look like you have anything.
No, I don't have any finished objects, but I do have a half-finished object.
Oh, cool.
I've got one sock.
Oh, yeah, you see, that's something.
Your vanilla toe-up sock pattern that I've been testing. So I've got one sock, and I'm actually currently working on the second, as you can see.
Oh, nice. is
Starting with
pretty.
your pattern by you.
I'm working on it. I still have yet to do some background work on that, but.
And I'm using Sister and Nancy yarn from Naima Bond Art, and this is the colorway Algae Bloom, and I just love it. Just blues and greens and little speckles of browns here and there.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
I mean, I you know me, you know I love greens, I love blues.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with this. I love all of Naima's art so much. It's like her yarn is so beautiful. So I'm making these on Haya Sharps in the little 9-inch circulars, and I've also been using, I think they're also Haya Sharps, but they're a longer circular just for the toes and the heels.
Yeah, I find it a lot easier to switch from the 9-inch circulars to like a 16-inch circulars just to do, the heels, toes, and cuffs. 'Cause, my purling is much to be desired. Need more torque. Well, I like to put it, I actually will purl like a crocheter. Like, that's how much, like, I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of movement for no reason. We're going to take a quick drink and then we'll move on to the next segment. Okay, let's talk quips. All right, I do have a tale of woe with the next couple things that I have worked on. I started to mention that a little bit. Basically, was it almost 2 weeks ago, I realized that the socks that I was making, that I called the 9 Merry Holiday Socks of Silver, I got to the end of the second sock for this first pair. And then I realized, oh yeah, the foot wasn't long enough. See, this is the corrected sock. This is how long it's supposed to be. The foot. And that is how the second sock ended up being. So it was a good 1.5 inches shorter. So yeah, I have to rip back the second pair of socks because these two are supposed to be identical pairs of socks, but for different people.
No.
Yeah. But that's fine. It just gives me more time to realize, okay, I can, if I want to, I can go ahead and just record with the new socks when I fix them. So that's a start. That's a good nose. Anyway, I'm gonna ramble, but it's basically back in timeout. I'm actually using my vanilla toe up socks, basically that I created different sizing for. It was a 72 stitch. Is the one that I normally use. The colorway that I'm using is called Candy Cane by Yorkshire Spinners. It looks almost exactly like the socks do, obviously. I'm actually housing a majority of, well, the one that I'm currently working on in this green holiday cat bag by Molly Klein Designs. And I am using a size US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars. Until I go back and fix this sock here, it's just being in a Ziploc bag. Basically, they're the same, I'm counting it as the same project, but number 1 and number 2 for my sanity. So I could tell which one's which. Like, this one is definitely the furthest now, so it goes in that bag. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next thing. This one is actually relatively new. I called this Jack's Flirting Again, Take 2. This is the Vanilla is the New Black by Ania Fletcher pattern. I love this heel. So it expands out in a garter stitch pattern. I'm trying to see if I can.
That's really, really cool.
I want to try to see if I can get the light to pick up on it. Not so much. But anyway, it is what it is.
Sorry if I go on mute. They're doing construction outside.
Oh, no worries. I'm surprised that the neighbor hasn't left in his really loud car either. Let's be honest. Yeah, like I said, I am actually using 3 Irish Girls yarn incorporated in the Springvale sock colorway. This is actually exclusive from Stephen B. in the colorway Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. I don't know if you could read that. I love this colorway. I'm like, oh, hey, the pattern that I had before, a little bit busy. I kind of like a vanilla pattern. Let's go with it. I am using a size 1.5, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars, obviously. They are Zoom needles, and I am about halfway through the foot on this sock. So I have been counting rows, so I couldn't do that while I was recording. Because, yeah, too much. Anyway, this is being housed in my coffee bag by Molly Klein Designs. Because, of course, I have a coffee bag. It is my favorite bag, actually. Let's see. The next thing was actually a new cast on, sort of, or hooked on, I guess, since the last time we talked. I'm just calling this simply S shawl. It's for somebody that actually does watch the podcast, so I'm not naming who it is. Anyway, this is the Quick and Simple Granny Shawl by Hannah Owens. If you're watching the video, you'll notice I am kind of being distracted here by the prettiness of all yarn colors. I'm using a lot of different yarn scraps for this one. I'm trying to go a solid, variegated, then a solid, and then a variegated and solid all the way down. So we'll see if that pattern happens after the colorway that I finished. Because I'm now at the very end of what I have for scraps until I finish some other things. It happens. For this one, again, I am using that G hook, which is the 4.0 millimeter, and it's being housed in my TARDIS bag by the Knitted Broomstick. TARDIS bag? That's not TARDIS. Anyway, the 12th Doctor stuff. I love this. It's like cartoons and stuff. I'm like, oh, hey. I saw that fabric. Like, mine. Totally mine. There it is. Okay. The next thing I did put a little bit of work in, probably about 1.5 inches or so, was what I called simply EE's scarf. Basically, no pattern, just a scarf. You know, like we used to do when we were first starting to knit. Yeah, just kind of as a break. And yeah, I wanted another one. The last one they had was, that I made for him, was when we got married, which is over 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so he wanted a new one, and the other one had sprung like a bunch of holes. So I was like, all right, there you go. I am using Miss Babs. It's a Yowza green. I don't know which one. It's like, I don't know. It's the remainder that was in, that I made his sweater out of, but also he did not want, so I ripped out. That's another story. Oh yeah, I don't even think I showed you. I'm using my Carbon straight needles, size US 5, 3.75. I needed an excuse to use these, right?
I love the Carbon's needles. They are so good.
They're good, and they're durable too, considering how like much wear these needles have gotten.
Yeah. Also, I knit really tight, so it's nice that I don't break them.
Yeah, that too. That's a big key thing for me too. And that's actually the TARDIS bag that I have. I love this fabric.
Oh, I love that one.
This one's from Addicted to Sock Knitting. I don't know if they make any more bags, but they do have an Etsy shop, so I'll have to link that. Future Silver breaking in. I forgot that there was one more work in progress that I've started. Yeah. I simply call them July's stripy socks. And basically, there's no pattern. They're basically just vanilla socks with a boomerang heel. I am literally on the ribbing. I started this on the 1st and really have not worked on it much since. But the concept behind the Perfect is you're supposed to cut off all the yellow before you get to the main color pattern. But I'm like, I don't want to waste that. And I cast on wrong all the time, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and there it is. This is the like I said, the Regia Rainbow Perfect yarn. I'm using a size US 1 on the 9-inch circulars. I'm just gonna do vanilla sock down to the boomerang heel, which is basically a German short row, which works out perfectly for the stripy nature of it. Complete rainbow. I love it. And I'm housing this directly in my Exploding TARDIS bag, my Molly Klein Designs. So. Now back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Okay, the last thing that I have been working on actually since we started recording was what I called simply crochet pride shawl. This is number 3, piece number 3. I'm making 42 round, quick and simple granny shawls by Hannah Howens. The first one that I did use, let me grab the bag that I have them in. I made 2 pieces prior. Obviously, that's why the pride is. I got a rainbow. So I have 2 of those. I used Knit Circus yarns in the Greatest of Ease, which was about 600 yards or 150 grams. It was a superwash nylon. I remember that in the Love is Love colorway. And I'm using a solid series from the Loopy U. I think they call it bisque or tan for this piece. I don't know if I'm going to have enough for the 4th one yet. We'll figure that out. And like you saw, it is in my TARDIS bag by the Knitted Broomstick. You can tell I like her TARDIS bags. Anyway, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this quickly while the construction has temporarily stopped.
Okay.
So my works in progress, as I already showed you, and I've been knitting while we're talking, we're still working on the second of your vanilla toe-up sock patterns. I also have basically just a bit more than a cast on my genderqueer pride shawl that I cast on when we started the knit along, make along rather. So gonna keep going on that. That is the progression shawl by Karen Rissinger, and it's genderqueer pride fingering in Fully Spun is the yarn brand. I love that. I love that.
Definitely,
like,
yeah.
Purple. It's like, why wouldn't I like it? Plus, it also, reflects me. So, I also started a little while ago making a demisexual pride shawl for my friend Rinny, who is demi, and I just love this. It's not actually a pride yarn. It's actually yarn based on the Pokemon Espeon, which I thought was actually really cool.
Oh, nice.
It actually kind of goes with the demi pride flag colors anyway. It's like purple, white, black, and gray all in this yarn. So it just works. And this is Taina by Eva, sorry, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Kasaku. She's Finnish, I believe. And that's on my carbon straight needles, which, as I was saying, I love them.
Yeah.
Those are US 6, so 4mm. And I also started a blanket a while ago. It was called the Spring Blanket knit along, made by Louise Tilbrook Designs. But it's summer now, so I'm kind of calling it my spring summer blanket.
I like that title.
So
That's sometimes how my titles of things happen too.
I had a ton of Garn Studio Drops Charisma yarn left over from when I made my husband a Warhammer 40,000 shawl. So I had a ton of this bright blue yarn left over, so I'm making a blanket out of that. And I'm using US 7 4.5mm Haya sharp circulars to keep that all together.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to see. I saw a little bit of a picture. I'll sneak peek. I'll put that in here, as well as the cast on you had for the progression shawl up with the shawl as well. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna finish up my coffee, and I will meet y'all in the next segment. All right, silver is unraveling fast. That's a general statement this month, but in reality, like I mentioned before, Jack's flirting again. I actually had a first iteration of that one. Honestly, I wasn't feeling that combo of the pattern and the yarn together. I love the pattern, but it was just so complicated, and my brain was just like, no, we need to go vanilla sock route. That's it. So, and I'm probably going to try to find a less busy yarn to show off the pattern itself. So maybe like a lighter yarn, I guess, for that one, and a lighter fingering weight yarn, I think. But anyway, like I mentioned, I did use that Hello, I'm Jack Harkness socks by CC Almond, which is why I really wanted that pattern, but it's just a little too complicated for my brain right now, let's be honest. I was using a size US2, which is a 2.75mm 9-inch circulars. I think I might have a picture of what it looked like before. I'll put that here. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment, and I have a little bit more coffee. I'm going to shotgun now. See y'all in the next segment. Alright, let's talk Radio Gaga. Alright, I have been listening to a S-ton, and you know what I mean by that. For the younger viewers, maybe not so much. I have been listening to Rihanna's Good Girl Gone Bad, as well as the soundtracks for Burlesque, Tarzan, Pitch Perfect 2, also for Rock of Ages. I've also found on Amazon Music they have a lot of different like songs lists, and I found the greatest classic rock songs. There's also another one I listened to, but they're like 7 or 8 hours worth of music, which is wonderful when you're doing stuff in the background. And let's see. Oh, for in terms of podcasts, I've listened to I Am All In and My Favorite Murder. Every other podcast I listen to, well, because of the music thing, I kind of didn't listen to any of them since the last time we talked. Anyway, looks like you've got some stuff here that you've been listening to.
Yeah, my obsession with BTS, Bangtan Sonyeondan, the K-pop group, has only grown. So, actually, just this morning, I was listening to Map of the Soul 7, which is their album before last, and also B, which is their most recently released album. And I just really enjoy them, so I was really happy. We were also listening to Genesis, Wind and Wuthering, which is the last album that features Genesis as a four-piece of Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, Tony Banks, and Steve Hackett. So it's really pretty good. I like it a lot, but it's not my favorite Genesis album. But I was trying to give it another chance to listen to it more.
Yeah.
I appreciated you listening to the Tarzan soundtrack because there's Phil Collins.
Exactly, yeah.
Man. And for podcasts, I really, as usual, I listen to your podcast. I don't really listen to other podcasts.
That's fair. I mean, I listen to way too many true crime podcasts, and that's part of the reason why I'm like, oh, I'm always going to be behind on somebody's podcast or other. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And anyone needing to grab some water, now would be the time. Silver's book pile. Okay, I have finished reading 5 books, most of them from the same series, the Native Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton. I did finish Crimson Death, which I mentioned last time. I also finished Serpentine, or Serpentine, basically about snakes. It was making me happy. Sucker Punch, and Raphael. There was also a short story that was in that same series, but it technically was not part of the series or part of the canon. It was called Fantastic Hope with various artists, but Laurel K. Hamilton was actually the editor on that one, so I wanted to give it a little bit of a try. And quite frankly, I just read the story she wrote, so whoops. But at least I'm being honest. So you know, if you'd like to follow, I actually am on Goodreads as Silverluna. I do put my FOs and currently reading projects there a lot more than I talk about it, let's be honest. Oh yeah, currently I am finally reading through Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. It's actually the first time I'm reading it through. I don't know what my issue was, but I've seen the series like 6 times.
I love that book. I love that book so much.
I love that series, and I am excited we're getting a season 2. Thank you, Amazon, for listening to fans, finally. And like I mentioned, I am listening to Outlander by Daniel Gambadon. I take it about 2 hours every week or so to listen to, and yeah. And then I forget where I am, and then I have to start all over again, so it's fine. I'm going to make a promise here on the podcast, so I have to do it. I'm going to try to finish the book by the end of August. Let's see if that works.
I believe in you.
I think I can, too. Let's see, what are you reading?
Well, I'm also on Goodreads, though I haven't updated in a while, so I think I'll do that as soon as we're done recording. My username on Goodreads is mercury.com. Recently, I finished 2 audiobooks. My husband and I have been listening to Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, as read by Rob Inglis. By J.R.R. Tolkien is the author, obviously, and I really, really enjoyed it. The narrator did a really good job of actually doing like a lot of different voices, so it doesn't just sound like one person talking to themselves.
Monotone sometimes, yeah.
In Fellowship of the Ring. Um,
Yeah.
and we also recently listened to All of Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And I cannot remember the narrator's name, but he really sounds like Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World.
Oh, wow.
But I really enjoyed that. It's quite interesting to hear about, a man building his own cabin and kind of living off the land by himself and dealing with it, I guess.
Yeah.
And currently, I am actually reading Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered by Georgia Hardstark and Karen Kilgariff. Very appropriate t-shirt you're wearing today.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yay!
Murderino. And we also started, my husband and I started listening to Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, also by Rob Inglis, narrating that. So, again, Tolkien. So I am really excited to see what's going to happen. So, I mean, I already know because I've seen the films like 100 times, and I've actually already read Fellowship of the Ring, like when I was in high school. But I always would get bogged down during the Two Towers and never finish it. So now that it's an audiobook, I'm hoping that like I'll actually finish it, and then we'll move on to Return of the King as well.
Yeah, I've actually only read all 3 books all the way through, I think, 2 times, but I've seen the movies like hundreds. Because characters. But I actually in high school wasn't required to read them. It was The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't required for me either. But
well, no, I wasn't required, and like I don't know, if The Hobbit bored me enough. Yeah, like I was bored with The Hobbit, so I was like, okay, I'll give it another try before I read the trilogy. It is what it is. All right. With that, I'm actually going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Silver and the Case of the Screen Time. All right. I have been attached to the hip on the electronic babysitters this week. I am not, or week, month, whatever it's been. It's a long, long month. I have been watching a lot of the behind the scenes in the Holzer files. I've also, with Seska Says, I've actually gone through the first portion of season 4 now. I think that's what she's on. Yeah. Episode 4 this week. Or 4 or 5 this week. I can't remember. It's, like I said, it's been a minute. I've also been watching through Gilmore Girls. Again, season 1. We're up to season 9. I'm watching it along with the I Am All In podcast that Scott Patterson's putting on. Absolutely love this dude. Like every time I listen to it, I'm like, he's got some weird insights from set. So it's totally worth it. I love Gilmore Girls. I can pretty much quote a fair amount of the first couple episodes by heart. So that's how many times I've seen it. Anyway, let's see. I also binged Being Human. I got to the beginning of season 3, and then I kind of forgot about it for about a week or two. In favor of Loki on Disney Plus. I got hooked on the series because I read and heard from Disney Plus that they were making the character of Loki gender fluid, which kind of makes sense based on what we've seen already. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
It's true to the myth, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Loki was never really supposed to be male or female. Like,
exactly.
So, like, that makes sense.
They go through a lot of changes in the myths. I mean, at one point to become a horse. So.
Exactly, yeah. Well, let's see. Last Wednesday's episode was a doozy. Like, I had to watch it 3 times to be like, wait, what just happened? Like, what just happened? Let's see. I did realize after I recorded last time that I hadn't said that I watched Titanic, so now it's been a month and a half since I watched it. Because, yeah, sometimes you just need something really long that you've seen before for some delicate, like, lace work and stuff, so. Anyway, I've also been watching, like, Hamilton a couple times already. Gotta Kick It Up, Luck of the Irish, Double Teamed. I think there was a couple other older Disney movies that I watched. You know, those movies we grew up with on Disney Channel, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They're just kind of comforting.
Exactly. Well, I saw the one that I really like called Pop Rocks. I have not been able to find anywhere. It's not even on Disney Plus. I'm so mad. But I think the reason being is that the character, the God, I can't even remember the main actor, but he did not really like that role whatsoever. So he probably put a kibosh on putting it anywhere. So it exists on a tape that I don't know if I
Oh
can
man.
play much anymore.
Yes.
It's one of those like it's one of those rare Disney flicks that actually is a movie you want to watch about a rock star. Like not just, oh hey, let's get some fluff. No, this guy is like full on sex, drugs, and rock and roll like during the whole thing. But anyway, in terms of podcasts, I have watched GGKCS, Stitching the High Notes, Crazy Sock Lady. Also been watching Stocking It Zombies. Also the Knit Girls. And I'm still some episodes behind. So yeah. I have also, like I mentioned, been watching Seska Says. I've been watching, let's see, Mr. Reddit. Also, Judge Jeffrey Middleton's streams every once in a while when he streams there on YouTube. And apparently, I put the Murder Squad in the wrong area because it was supposed to be under audio podcast. Whoops. Anyway, Dad Silver no cookie. Anyway, besides all of the videos and things, I have actually been watching a bunch of streams. MTI has been doing a lot of Final Fantasy IV randomizer streams and races and things like that, so I've been watching those.
Supermarket sweep.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't know why I couldn't remember that for a second there. He's been doing that a lot. Obviously, besides me streaming too. Let's see, Meditative Crafter does have a stream. Has been streaming a lot of different games. Let's see. Most recently was Animal Crossing. She's also been playing some kind of detective game that's very frustrating, and that like the two of us are just like, okay, let's speculate wildly who actually done it. We're getting toward the end of that particular game, so hopefully next week we'll know who done it for sure. Let's see. Oh, and her husband, Dark Era New Vegas, actually has been streaming all of his art projects and things like that. He's doing a comic, so we kind of watch the progress that he's been making on that. That is fun. And last night, Hillywood streamed for a couple hours. She played Cuphead. Need I say any more? She doesn't really like to swear, but last night, oof, oofda.
Hold back when you're playing Cuphead.
Huh?
It's pretty hard to hold back when you're playing Cuphead.
Pretty much. She lasted about an hour and a half before, like, dropping an
Wow.
F-bomb. Before dropping an F-bomb. Before that, she was swearing in Greek, but that's a whole other story. Let's see, what have you been watching?
I've basically just been kind of glued to Netflix lately. I've been watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is kind of a remake of the original anime Full Metal Alchemist, which was made like in the mid 2000s, and the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was made about 5 years ago, maybe a bit more. But it's going off Netflix July 12th here, so I was like, oh god, I actually wanted to watch this. So trying to get through it really fast before it disappears forever.
Yeah, I hate when they do
uh,
stuff like that, man.
yeah. I mean, in a way, though, it kind of gives me an incentive to actually get off my butt and watch it, so
Yeah.
helps a bit. But I'm kind of sad that it's going away, too.
Mm.
And when I've been feeling like torturing myself, I've started watching Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah, it's not very good, and I really like Star Trek, but I don't think Enterprise is very good. But we're still only in the first season, so maybe it will improve.
Usually the series do kind of bomb the first season, and if they make it to their second season, they're good, but...
Yeah, but it's a real low coming after watching Deep Space Nine, which, like, I love. Deep Space Nine is a masterpiece. There are some bad episodes, of course. Every show is going to have good and bad episodes.
TNG, the Q episodes, pretty much.
Yeah. I really love Star Trek. I even love, like, the cheesy original series, you know what I mean? So, it's just been kind of painful watching Enterprise and being like, oh, I don't really like this very much. So, oh well. Even though Scott Bakula's in it, and I love him in Quantum Leap, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Other than that, and just like you had an audio podcast in the video part and vice versa, I said your podcast earlier, but your podcast is a video podcast too, so.
It's technically a little bit of both.
I've been watching quite a few different random YouTube channels. I like to just kind of chill out with YouTube, so I watch a lot of random stuff. I like watching this channel called Snake Discovery, which is basically how to take care of, like, reptiles and also, like, development of the people there. They, like, breed snakes, and they're also opening a zoo and all this kind of stuff. That's been really cool to watch, and the main person on it is also named Emily, so, like, I feel kind of affinity.
Right.
I also like to watch Caitlin Doty's channel, Ask a Mortician, which is just... It's what it sounds like. She's literally a mortician, and she talks about stuff that you might not have even realized that you were curious about. It's kind of made me think a lot. I really like it. I recently got into watching this guy called The Lockpicking Lawyer, and he's literally just a lawyer who picks locks and, like, disassembles them and shows you how they work. No, I have no interest in lockpicking, but I find his videos really just kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
And the other thing I watch is Brambleberry, which is a soap making channel. So I'm kind of all over the board on what I watch on YouTube.
Crash videos and Karen videos. And, like, those I didn't even mention specific channels, but yeah, there's also a channel I forgot to mention even. There's a production called Guitar Night, or GK Productions, who was doing the Animal Crossing Hamilton stuff. He finished that up and he put the full length movie.
Oh wow.
So basically, the one that is on Disney Plus, he pretty much has, like, it done it. It's perfect. Oof.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Marketing MTI are actually taking that, like, a couple songs every couple days, because he can't sit still for very long. Otherwise, I would have watched it like 6 times already. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this down for a moment, and I will see you in the next segment. My favorite things. Okay, I've had a couple of things actually come in the mail that I want to talk about. The first one is what's called Welcome to Group Therapy. Let's see if I can show it off here. I love that. It's by Dimensions. The cross stitch. Absolutely love it. I will be showing off more of that because I started almost right away. I'll be showing more of that in Wednesday's episode. Actually, it's Stitchy Silver. Yay! Also, I did get this Alpine Flowers. And slowly. This one is by Dana Waters, handmade. Also started that right away. I'll show that off again on Wednesday. And also, something that has come in the mail. The Regia Perfect. It's a rainbow colorway. I absolutely love that. I don't think it's going to come out exactly like the picture for me, but yeah. I still love it. There's 2 of them. Looks like you might have something on this list, right?
Yeah. I have recently put myself on a yarn diet. I can't buy any more for the rest of the year. But before I went on it, I got some more yarn from Sister Nancy Yarns by Naima Bond, who I was mentioning before. These were a pre-order she did to celebrate Juneteenth, which is basically, a lot of people call it Black Independence Day. It was basically the day that slaves in Texas, enslaved people in Texas, found out that they were actually free. Slave owners had not told them that they were free when the Emancipation Proclamation happened. So Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865 was the day that all enslaved people actually became free. Now, obviously, the U.S. still has some problems, but a lot of problems, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially around racism. But
yeah,
do my part when I can, and Naima is an absolutely amazing Black artist. I love everything that she does, and I was really happy to support a Black person for June. So this colorway is called 40 Acres, and this colorway that goes with it is called a Mule.
Oh, nice.
That was the promise given to people going west when they were freed. You're supposed to have 40 acres of land and a mule, so they fit together. And finally, there's this third colorway, which is called Legacy, which kind of just has colors of different African flags in there. It's mainly green and black, but there are splashes of like red and yellow and some whites as well. And I just absolutely love it, and I love supporting Naima. So I think everybody should go buy yarn from Naima personally. NaimaBondArt.com.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to be going ahead and linking all the shops and everything we've mentioned so far in the description box below, as well as in the show notes, which is at silversdreamlandpodcast.com. I had to remember that. You've said it a million times, but I had to remember it. Dope. Okay, anyway, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. The more you know. I do have a lot of things going on during the summer, if you probably already guessed. We did start doing stash vlogs every Wednesday, starting on 4/21. I do have 3 per month on Wednesdays, like I mentioned several times already. I'm rolling my eyes. Y'all can't see it in the video and the audio, but I'm rolling my eyes at that one. I do tend to do these as live premieres at 1 p.m. Eastern time, mostly so that people can come and chat if you'd like to. So come and join if you'd like. It's basically an abbreviated podcast episode with what I've been working on and finishing throughout the course of the week. And maybe some life stuff to talk. I don't know. Depends. Or Mario videos. That tends to be the norm. Anyway. And then once a month during the course of the summer, I am going to be doing what I call Stitchy Silver blogs. I did start them on 5/5 and probably will be going the first Wednesday of every month, at least until the end of August. I may continue for the rest of the year, but we'll see how that goes. This is going to be, or maybe the only time that you will see my stitching from now until the September episode. I know myself, a lot of the summer, I don't want to stop knitting and crocheting to start cross stitching. At least with this, a couple hours a month of work gets into it, so yay. And like I mentioned, I'm hoping to continue them after the summer, but we're going to play that by ear. Okay, it is now time for a Cal breakdown. Let's talk the Stripe Along 2021. A little bit of background. At some point last year, I had actually realized that I was down to 3 more skeins of Desert Vista Dye Works stripey yarn, as I basically have enough stripey yarn to get through a full year of knitting socks if I did one a month for the future. I would have enough to get through the year, so yay. I hope people would join me, so I went ahead and made an along. This is going to run, like I mentioned, all year long. I'll be using hashtag STL Stripe Along 2021 on all social media. The rules are simple. Anything that you do finish in 2021 with stripes will count. You must be a member of the Silver Dreamland Discord or Facebook groups, either one or both, whatever you want. If you don't use either, I do understand. Just please make sure you use that hashtag that I mentioned and at me on Instagram. Again, I am at Silver's Treats. This way I know to count your projects for the along. So I've been doing a lot of bringing in from different platforms into our Discord group, so I have fun with that. Let's be completely honest. Basically, colorwork, fair isle, stranded colorwork, double knitting, and intarsia all do count, as long as the colors that you use are bright and cheerful or work well together. I'm not picky. I'm going to be honest about that. A few notes. For this along, you can actually enter your project multiple times. There's actually no need for you to enter the FO multiple times. As long as you've notated in that first post how long it took you to complete each project, I will actually be commenting back with the correct post numbers. So if you started and finished the project in the year of 2021, no matter when that was, you can actually enter your project a total of 2 times. If it was in 6 months' time, it could be before 2021 started, you can enter your project 3 times. Again, the same for 3 months, you can actually enter 4 times. If you started and finished the project in 2 months' time, you can actually enter your project a total of 5 times. Now, if you're like me and like to challenge yourself to do a pair of socks, say, in stripey format, and you finish in the course of a month's time, you can actually enter your FO a total of 6 times. So yay. Okay, the reason you're here, right? You want to know about the prizes. Well, we do have a digital prize. Looney Hiker has actually offered one of her lovely patterns. You can actually look at all of her patterns on Lovecraft or on Ravelry. I will include links to both in the show notes on Discord and in the description box below if you'd like to go ahead and check out her patterns. They are absolutely amazing. Okay, we do have some physical prizes. The first one is from Yorkshire Spinners in the Fairy Lights colorway. I love that. And there's actually a corresponding pattern. It is a vanilla sock pattern. I love it. It's actually it's cuffed down too, so you know. But it's easily adaptable, so there you go. They also do have 200 yards or 100 grams of 100% merino, and there's actually a little mini from the fiber tree. I love that. Now, the next 2 prizes are actually a choice, with the winner's choice of a blanket that was actually crafted by me. Here is option 1. Through magic adding, I'll put it right here. And option 2. Now, if anyone does wish to donate any prizes, just please message me on Discord. Again, I am SilverD, #8858 on Facebook. Or you can actually email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com, and I'll add you to the list of prizes. Okay, here we go. Okay, who finished projects in the month of June? Before I read everyone off, quick reminder, please make sure you do come by either on Discord, on Facebook, or even on Instagram and like the projects that you absolutely love. There's a little bit of something in it for you by the end of the year. Just saying. Okay, let's congratulate I Now Hour, Linda C, Meditative Crafter, Nicole S, and Well Essential. So congratulations everyone for finishing FOs in the month of June. Okay, let's talk Dream Along 2021. Now, honestly, like most of the world, I was basically dreaming of saying goodbye to 2020 something fierce. Rolling eyes to that one as well. Basically, in an effort to literally dream 2020 away, I thought to host a new along in 2021 where I finally cast on projects that I have been dreaming about starting for years. Like literally dreaming about finishing projects that I've had in my queue for a long time. And to this end, the Dream Along 2021 was born, and also a way of non-stripe stuff. So anyway, this along does run all year. I am using #SDLDreamerAlong 2021 on all social medias. The rules are simple. Anything you finish in 2021 will count. Yes, you must be a member of the Silver Dreamland Discord or Facebook group to enter. If you don't use either of those platforms, I do understand. Like I said before, please just make sure you use the hashtag that I mentioned and at me on Instagram. This way, again, I know to count your projects for this along. Now, the main idea I had for this along is to start and finish things that have been in your queue, whether that's as UFOs or unfinished objects or things you've been just dreaming about making or have had in your queue for a while, whether it be a mental queue or on Ravelry, and just, really haven't gotten a chance to finish or start. Now's the time. I'm looking at you, Even Star, that way. Let's see. However, anything you do finish in 2021 will count for this along. Just a few notes. For this along, you can actually enter your project multiple times. It is actually based on the length of time the project has been in your queue or in your UFO bin. There's no need to enter your FO multiple times. As long as you notate how long it's been marinating, I'll comment with the correct post numbers for you down below your entry. Now, if you've actually started or had this in your queue more than a year, you can enter it a total of 2 times. If it's been in your queue for more than 2 years, you can actually enter it 3 times. If you started or had this in your queue more than 3 years, you can enter it a total of 4 times. Again, the same for 4 years, you can enter it 5 times. The same for 5 years, you can actually enter it 6 times. Now, if you've actually started or had this in your queue more than 10 years, which is, by the way, longer than I've been on Ravelry, or I ever was on Ravelry, you can actually enter your FOs a total of 10 times. 10. Yes, 10 times. I'm not lying. Okay. Enough giggling and all that. You want to know about the prizes, right? Well, from West Yorkshire Spinners, we do have the Starry Night colorway. Let's see if I can catch the light. It is very sparkly and gorgeous. I'm so jealous of who wins this one. There is also a corresponding pattern that goes with it. It is the comet pattern. It's a lacy panel. I don't even know if we can get much detail on the socks, but they are gorgeous. Again, these are cuffed down as well. There's also a pair of Voex Sonics circular needles. It is a size 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter, a 24-inch cables. Wow. They're gorgeous. They're kind of crumping on themselves, but that's another story altogether. And also for this one, there will be a winner's choice of blankets that were crafted by me. First one would be option 1 and option 2. If anyone wishes to donate any prizes, like I said again before, please just message me on Discord. Again, I am SilverD, #8858 on Facebook, or you can actually email me directly at silverstreamend@gmail.com. Who entered FOs in June? Well, we do have I Now Hour, Linda C, Linda E, Meditative Crafter, Nicole S, and Walsh Central. So congratulations everyone for entering your FOs this month. Oh, I have loved watching them come through, let me tell you. Oh yeah, and another quick reminder. If you haven't done so, make sure you do come by and like the posts on the different FOs that you like as well. Like I said, there might be something in it for you by the end of the year. Cannot confirm at this time. If you're watching the video on Patreon, you see my rando expressions like, yep. Okay, anyway. I'm going to take a quick drink and we'll go on to the next along. Alright, let's talk the Pride Along 21-22. A little bit of backstory. This along actually will run from Monday, May 17th, 2021, which was the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. It will go through June 30th, 2022. If you can, please use hashtag SDL Pride Along 2122 or hashtag MC Pride Along 2122. Also GGKCS Pride Along 2122. Also AK Pride Along 2122. WS Pride Along 2122, or if you would like to be inclusive of all of our podcasts and vendors that are participating in the along, you could always just use hashtag Pride Along 2122 on all social media platforms. I'd love to see all these FOs coming through, you guys. Quick ways to play. You can knit the Progression Shawl by Karen Reisinger. It's the one I showed you. I'll actually show you a picture of mine too. Or you can actually crochet the Quick and Simple Granny Shawl by Hannah Owens with whatever you'd like, yarn-wise. You could also play by using any Pride colorway that does include, but not exclusively include, like rainbows of any kind, gender fluid, intersex, trans colorways, etc. Now, if you do knit, crochet, stitch any Pride flag, it does count. Basically, if you can make it work in like blocks of color to represent the flags in a shawl or other items, it will count. If you use a pattern with the word pride or proud in it, it will count as well. When you do enter those, I do ask that you include the name of the designer, the design itself, and the link. If you can't find another link other than to Rav, that's fine. Just make sure you notate it for those with accessibility issues and they can't use Ravelry. So, all right, a note, you will actually get double entries if you knit the progression shawl with a Pride colorway, or if you make a Pride flag while knitting it as well. And you can get double entries, again, if you crochet the quick and simple granny shawl with a Pride colorway, or if you're making a Pride flag while crocheting that granny shawl. Again, anything with rainbows, anything with Pride colorways, that all counts. Which I love. I love that. Anyway. Okay, you're here for the prizes, right? Well, we do have some digital prizes. The first is from Zizi and Dami of Java Pearl Designs. They've actually offered their wonderful Catch the Rainbow socks as a prize to one lucky winner every month. This pattern, they no longer use Ravelry, so I'm going to link it via Etsy and via PayHip. It's an amazing pattern. I love it. I actually need to knit it myself. They have also donated a free pattern of theirs every month as well, basically of your choice. And like I mentioned, all of their design patterns are found on javapearldesigns.com/patterns. I will also be giving away a free copy of my Proud to Be Me shawl pattern, which is actually going to be given away 1 per quarter, so a total of 4. Wonderful Mercury has actually offered one of her wonderful paid patterns per quarter, and her shop can actually be found at www.mercurialknits.com/shop. I'll go ahead and link all of this in the description box below and in the show notes. I'll also be giving away 2 of Mercury Zelda's wonderful patterns that will be given away at the end of the long as well. Okay, let's talk the physical prizes, right? We have a few of them. One I don't actually have on hand, but Cher and her husband of the Meditative Crafting podcast will actually be giving away a board game called Arch Ravels to a lucky winner. I'll put a picture here. Okay, we'll also be giving away a skein of Desert Vista Dye Works yarn in the mother of all color Zombie Queens. Absolutely love this colorway. It does have a little bit of sparkle in it, and it is an 8 stripe colorway. Oof. I'm so jealous of who wins that one, let me tell you. There's also a skein of yarn from Nice and Knit in the Times Square colorway. It's on their fingering base. And also there's a skein of yarn from Sweet Georgia Yarns in the Rainbow Sprinkles colorway. Oof, I love that colorway. Let's see, we do have 2 sets of Rainbow Progress Keepers. Let me grab them right here. 2 sets of Rainbow Progress Keepers and stitch marker sets from Adorn Knit. I do have 2 of them. And the little baggies, I don't want to... If I pull them out, they won't get back in there, right? Let's see. And also from Adorn Knit, there is actually a set of a large Rainbow Progress Keeper and stitch marker set, also donated by Adorn Knit. I will go ahead and link their shop down below, but they are on Etsy, and they do... I love all their progress makers and stuff like that. Spoilers, I have stuff coming from them. We did also get a bunch of stuff from Rick of Whimsy Stitches Designs. He's actually donated quite a bit, which surprised the ever-living F out of me, let's put it that way. And let's see, first we're actually going to give away 2 different sets of what I'm calling a Rainbow Pride sheep and enamel pin set. So there's 2 of these sets that are giving away. Put that aside. And also we did get a combo of Pride rainbow bag, and there is a Progress Keeper that's going with it. And then the last thing that is going to be included is these rainbow progress, we call silicone rings. And there is a large rainbow marker in that set as well. I love that. I have to say thank you so much, Rick, for donating so much of your time to include prizes for us. Oh, I'm excited. Anyway, if you would like to go ahead and donate a prize to the Pride Along, please PM me, or you can email me directly at silverstreamland@gmail.com. I'd love to add you to the wonderfulness that's going on in front of my face right now. Okay. You guys, we had people enter FOs in the month of May and June. Quick reminder before I say who, though. Just please make sure you do come by to like all of your favorite FOs. I'm excited. Okay. We did have FOs from Linda E., Meditative Crafter, and Wolf Central. So congratulations, you guys, for entering FOs in the months of May and June. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick drink, and then I will see you in the next segment. All right, we have come to the end of the road.
The end of the road!
The end of the road!
Well, thank you again for having me on, Silver. People who are listening, if you don't already follow me, you can follow me at Mercurial Knits on Twitter and at Mercury Zelda on Instagram. You can download my and Silver's patterns directly from my website, mercurialknits.com. The money goes directly to me or to Silver, depending on who you're buying it from. No need to go through Ravelry.
Oh, yay. I'm Prentice Social. You can actually find me on our Discord board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am SilverD, #8858 there. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be actually found at www.facebook.com/groups/Silver's Dreamland Podcast. Yes, I know. When you do a search for Silver's Dreamland Podcast, there's actually two things that come up. One is a group and one is a page. If you follow the group for all episodes and along updates, the page itself doesn't really get updated as much as it probably should. I wanted to grab both just in case. Yes, there's been a little issues with that this week, but that's a different story. Anyway, a note about the Facebook group. You do need to enter to keep scammers out of the group and people that are mean. Anyway, first question, what episode am I up to? Well, today is episode 106. Second question is, what is the name of Silver's son? Mario the cat or Mario? If you honestly don't remember those answers, that's completely fine. Just please note this in your answers so I know you're not trying to troll me. Chances are you're going to be in the group. But there is one caveat. You do need to read the group rules and hit agree. The rules are simple and absolute in my eyes when you answer the questions. You just have to agree to be nice and don't dox people, stuff like that. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of shenanigans that goes on Facebook nowadays. Anyway, like I mentioned with the page, the notifications that the episodes have gone live sometimes go onto that page as well. If I remember, they go to both. Anyway, on Instagram and on Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting now. I go ahead and made that for both to make it nice and easy to remember. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silverstreamland@gmail.com. And as always, everything that I do talk about can be found in the show notes at www.silverstreamlandpodcast.com. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell down below. This way others can find me in my little corner of YouTube. Well, that, and you can also see when I post videos too, because the bell helps with that. Okay, I have rambled for long enough. I know your time is valuable, so please feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own in the Silver's Dreamland Discord board, or even in the Facebook group. I don't bite, I promise. No matter what anyone else tells you, I don't bite. Anyway, like I said, if you are feeling generous, please click that like button below the video. It really does help my channel out. Alright, I will be back on Wednesday with a stash vlog and an episode of Stitchy Silver this coming Wednesday. So until next time, happy crafting, y'all!